What up everybody, welcome back to the channel. The engine may be down for the count currently. I ordered a new timing chain, some valves, like the top end kit thing. Super cheap on Amazon, less than 200 bucks. So hopefully it will run after that, question mark.
The next day the mother was dead.
But meanwhile, we still have lots that we can do on this thing so we're not dead in the water. We can weld up the entire frame. We have to build a throttle pedal and a brake pedal and some sort of shifter at the same time. And no, I didn't forget about the brakes. There's a cheap little brake kit here. The floater is probably like the same size as, that's probably like 3 times the size of my wiener, but it should stop, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. It's gonna be close. It's better than no brake though, right? All right, we made this little pedal here. This is gonna be our brake pedal. I welded some angle iron to the back somewhere to give it some strength and to be able to pivot on and push the brake caliper thing. Brake master cylinder. Also, hindsight 2020, not 50-50. I know I messed it up last video. Here's the beginning to our brake pedal. I just added a couple brackets to the back like this, and we're gonna weld those brackets right here. And then, yeah. The brake pedal essentially goes right here, and then we can put our master cylinder right behind it. I have to be conscious that the exhaust actually comes to about right here somewhere, so it is gonna be kind of close, but probably the best we got. Now that a piece is welded in, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a piece like this that I've already built. We're gonna put it something like that, and then our brake should just mount to this like this, and then we should be able to push it in with that. Just gotta get the right spots on this piece. So I'll mark the holes in this, get those drilled out, and then weld this piece on. Can't believe we're using an actual hammer for this. Let's assemble it and see if I frigged it up now. Probably still a bit hot. I also put these holes on the wrong side. I wanted the thick part on the top and not the bottom, so I definitely put our pedal upside down, but whatever for now. So I actually just put the disc brake inside the caliper so we don't push the piston out. I'm just gonna test to see if this pedal's gonna work. Oh yeah. That works fine. It's just at a really shitty angle, that's all. Look, see? No, it's clamping. Gravity can't even pull that out right now. I'm stronger than gravity right now. Well, it works for me. It's not at the ideal angle. I would like it pivoted down slightly a little bit more, which means I'd have to move this back a little bit more. But we gotta remember that our exhaust comes out like right here. So we're already in dangerous territory for like getting heat to this thing. If I have to, I'll build a little shield, but for now, that's mint. Well, these are the only hubs that I have lying around, and I'm not sure if this is gonna fit on those holes. I can't really line it up with anything, but mainly the center bore is off of this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably put this in the lathe to try and cut this little center bore down, and then put it in there, and if I have to, maybe drill holes, maybe? That's the only hub we have, so I'll try and use it, I guess. So the bolt pattern is a little bit off here. I believe the hub is 3 1/4. These are probably 3-inch spacing. So really I just need to oblong the holes for the rotor a little bit and extend them out, and we should be able to bolt that hub on there. And then we got a rear brake. You know what? It's probably easier to narrow in the aluminum hub than it is to widen out the steel rotor. So we're doing it backwards. This thing should be so light with no engine in it. Man, this dang on caliper is giving some trouble right now. What I'm trying to accomplish, I want it to be one fluid piece, so I started cutting out this piece. It matches up with the rotor right there. But the weird design of this thing is, if you try and put the pads down straight with the caliper, so that would be straight. See this flat face? Push the flat face right into the disc. Well, there's a bolt, like, you can see the mounting bolt is like down below, and the mounting bolt actually hits our hub. So I'm guessing this was meant for like a flat hub or something, but we used what we had. I don't know, so it's just gonna take some finagling. One piece from the bottom that connects to the top so it gives it some strength, and then we're actually gonna have to eat away a whole lot at the inside here to mount the caliper. So this is where the rotor sits right here. This is where the caliper sits. So we're just gonna start cutting a little bit out of this section right here to hopefully move this caliper till this piece right here where the bolt is goes to the edge right there, and then this bolt is down here, and we'll move that one as close as we can this way, and then the caliper will fit, I don't know, close to where the rotor is. Here's our silly ass bracket. You can see we made like a cutout for the caliper itself. I guess this is the moment of truth to see if it works or not. All right, we're just gonna have to weld it on the top up here now and on the bottom down here. And then that should be it. It should hold our little brake caliper. I mean, I don't know how stiff this thing needs to be considering the brake caliper is held on by two little M6 bolts, so. All right, I threw a keyway inside of our hub there just to see if it'll work. You can see the weird angle that this caliper had to be on, because if I put it any closer, then this black piece would hit the bolts, which is super weird. So let's scrape a little bit on the top piece here. I have to adjust it a little tiny bit before I fully weld it in. I just want to see if we're like strong enough to, oh yeah. So I'm just gonna push it down by hand. At the very least, it'll be enough to slow us down for now. We can always come up with a better brake afterwards, as long as we have a brake for now. I'm actually not gonna super weld this in a lot. All I did was put a couple tacks on it. Like I said, just a brake for now, but I do realize that if I would have flipped this hub around the other way and just had the bolt heads sticking out of this side of the rotor, then I could have made this plate a lot deeper back this way to put more meat here. So revision 2 might come up afterwards, but for now, I'm done with the brakes.
Man, some of you guys will have no idea how cold it is here today. I got candy in my mouth. But it's minus 30 degrees Celsius, which is like minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And it is just cold. I'm just in a hoodie, but I'm in Canada. But once we get inside, the heater is on like almost all the time, and I turn it off to film. But for like the 5 or 10 minutes that I turn it off to talk to the camera, like the garage floor just, it's cold. So I'm gonna do my best to keep it fun, keep it entertaining, and today I think I'm gonna start building a throttle pedal because who cares about brakes? We just need to go. Brakes are like second, they should have been an afterthought. Should have been an afterthought. It was an afterthought, I built it, and now I'm just putting it off. Back to our 1/4 inch piece of aluminum here. We're gonna do a very similar design to the brake pedal, but for the gas pedal. The only other addition is I want it to hook left a little bit. So if we mount our throttle cable right here, it can plug into the pedal so we can pull down the cable. Essentially like this. We're gonna have to put it here, which means we gotta cut off this piece again and then weld our tabs there. But you can see how we can tuck the cable nice and close to the body now with that little extra tab that I added so we can, you know, put the tab next to the body. Boom, we're dead. We died. That was it. Top of 3rd gear, dead. You guys are getting the same treatment as the last guy. I'm just gonna burn you and melt you until you're just all one unit.
Man, for just Sloppy Joe and some welds together, that ain't bad. That ain't bad.
Sloppy Joe welds, not bad, not bad, getting better. Our inconsistent welds are getting more consistent, if that makes sense. Math.
I just happen to have this short low-car cable lying around for whatever reason. I probably ordered one that was too short and then I couldn't use it. But we have a full one. This side is actually going to go to the throttle body because this piece will actually work with the throttle bodies on this unit. And this piece is going to go to our pedal. So what I'm going to do is just drill a small hole in the pedal. I have a piece that I can put on the back side of this just to clamp it. And then we'll build a small little bracket right here somewhere. And then the cable is just gonna run from here, probably dip down into here, and then just go to the throttle bodies. Here's our quick little bracket here. It's gonna get welded like this. There's actually 2 holes in it. One is for the throttle cable, the other is for a spring, because we're gonna put a secondary return spring right here, just so that's gonna be strong. We're probably gonna have to put a throttle stop here somewhere too, actually, just so we don't break the throttle bodies. Should be able to just feed this through this one, and we just put one of these thingamajiggies on. That gets clamped back here. Basically that. Throttle pedal. Oh, well that didn't work as planned. Cool. Now we just need to figure out the length of this thing while we get the motor back together. And that's another thing done. See that? Now call me crazy, but I did make the throttle pedal like half an inch shorter than the brake pedal. The brake pedal I wanted more leverage just in case we needed more leverage. The throttle pedal I was like, that doesn't need to be super crazy, but they don't look dumb when you're looking back here. We just need to get a spring for this side now, and then once we get our engine set up and our throttle linkage set up, we can cut the cable to the correct length. But overall, pretty successful. We got the brake pedal mounted, the throttle pedal mounted, the brake caliper mounted, so that's all good. The next time that I come out here, I should have the parts for the engine for the head. I ordered some valves. It's like a top end kit on Amazon I ordered. It was like valves, head gasket, it might be bolts, and I also ordered a brand new chain because I think the tensioner is still working correctly. I just think the chain is not working correctly. I mean, the chain is stretched too much. Like here's our tensioner. It was actually pushed all the way out, and if you do pull back on this piece right here, it does crank all the way back in. So it was functioning the way it was, and then it locks out once it tensions. So I think that's working fine. It's just our chain was too stretched. I've got to order another plate for our accessory bearing right here. I forgot to order it, one of these plates right there. I'm gonna have to do a lot of welding too as well. And I thought about building extra plates out here, how am I gonna go about doing that? I would have to like build a plate from here to connect those 2 plates and then a bar to connect that maybe to help like make it rigid on the outside, because that is a pretty far distance. Well, this isn't pushed all the way in where it's supposed to be, but it is a pretty far distance for a lot of flex on the outside there, especially with these tires. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side. There's only so much time I can spend out here because it is really, really chilly. Like my upper body is sweating a little bit, but my feet and my lower half is a little bit cold because the concrete doesn't warm up. And in-floor heating will not work here because the ground shifts so much. I feel like it would crack. My floor shifts up and down a couple inches every year. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace easy. Get that V.